Buongiorno, my friends, and welcome to my show. Today on Box Amore, it's all about the pizza. We'll make the most prima grande pizza you ever tasted, with tomato sauce, mozzarella alla vomito, and spicy pepperoni on top. With Vito Pringolini, you always get the best.
And always remember to add cardboard. Cardboard pizza is always the best.
Oh, mamma mia, that sounds disgusting.
And this is how you do it. Yeah, off you go.
Arrivederci.
Now, to make the cardboard pizza, you need a piece of cardboard. Then you cut out a triangular shaped piece, and then you cut along here to make a nice curve like I have here. So this is our starting point for the pizza slice. Next, we start folding the curved edge. So we fold a bit, squeeze a bit, fold a bit, squeeze a bit, and then so you squash it down like this, just like you would if this was real pizza dough. Then you need some glue. So you take the glue, quite a generous amount of glue along the edge, and then you use some paper clips or some clothing pegs or whatever you have to push this down until it dries. You can wipe away the excess glue if you like. So now this needs to dry, and when it is dry, it will look like this. And when we take this off, there, you see it's all gone totally solid here. Then you take this solid edge and you fold it up so that you can put a lot of ingredients in the middle of your pizza slice. Just like that. Just like a nice container there. Okay, so now we are ready to paint. Brush. We start with this very, very light yellow. It, in fact, is sort of half between white and yellow. It's very, very white sort of yellow. And we put that on the edge, going in about this much, not too long, don't have to go in too long. And then make sure you get the paint in the little cracks there, and go around on the other side a bit too. Don't have to do it too much, about this much. Should be just nice. That is gorgeous. So you see there and there. When it is dry, I'm going to use a slightly more sort of browny, yellowy, warm brown to crisp up the crust. Still quite light in color. It will dry darker, but just here on the crust, you can go a little bit darker around on the other side as well. So here I have the tomato sauce. It's made from red paint, and then I mixed in a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white, just to get it that sort of tomato sauce-like color. And it's kind of thin, so that it reminds us about the consistency of real sauce. So it's easy to pour. So you pour this on a bit. Yeah, look at this, just like you would with the real sauce, just like that. Not too much, of course, because then you're gonna spill it everywhere, but just pour it on there, and then use a brush to lay it on. And one thing to remember is that don't go all the way into the edge. Leave a little bit of the lighter color there. Makes it look a more authentic Italian, real Italian pizza. And it's quite thick. This is much more thicker than you would paint with real paint. I mean, as in with normal painting. Because now you are copying the feel of real tomato sauce. And by the way, to make the paint flowing like this, I diluted it with quite a bit of water. So into this wet paint, you can add the ingredients. You take a separate piece of cardboard. Look at this cardboard. This cardboard is quite thin. Can you see that? And this cardboard is a bit thicker. Can you see that? So the reason why I use the thinner cardboard is that it's much easier to cut little pieces. You know, thick cardboard can be a bit hard to cut corners and stuff. Thin cardboard is better. So find some thin cardboard, doesn't matter what color as long as it's thin. Okay, so now we start deciding, yeah, we would like a bit of cherry tomato, pepper cut in slices, pepperoni, some olives perhaps. What else do you want to have? Oh yeah, mushrooms, definitely mushrooms. Oh, nice piece of mushroom there. And then you cut them out and paint them. So here I have a bunch of pieces that are cut out. These are the peppers, some mushrooms, even a bit of broccoli, pepperoni, mushroom, cherry tomato, and olives. Then I have painted them on the other side. So check this out. Just turn them over and they all got a beautiful painted color here. Here we go. Here's pepperoni. Push it in a bit, just like you would with a real pizza. And then, of course, a lot of healthy veggies like mushrooms, cherry tomato, olive, broccoli. Yeah. I love veggies, by the way. You know, my pizzas are full of veggies always. Okay, these peppers I'm gonna wait with for the second layer. You see, this is just the first layer of ingredients. We are gonna add a second layer, but first we need to let it dry. And lucky for us, I have a slice that is already dry, so I can put this aside and continue showing you with this one. As you can see here, it looks a lot flatter. It's not as voluminous, the tomato sauce, as we had on the other one, and that's because when the paint dries, it will dry flatter. So that's just you know, the way it is, because the water evaporates. And you can see here is an open piece here that I didn't add ingredient, but never mind, we have so much to put on, so that's no problem. You see, for the second layer we need to add the cheese, and here's the cheese. Look at that, this is the cheese. So this is a sort of a same color as I used to paint here, sort of a very white, yellowy white. And we start with carefully pouring it on where we want it. So I'm gonna pour on a little bit in between the ingredients here, particularly when we get to the tip of the pizza slice. You can use the brush if you like to sort of direct the paint. See, it sort of flows into the corners in between the ingredients here. I also suggest that you put a piece of cardboard underneath the pizza and not do it against the cutting board like I do, because it can get quite messy. So how much of the red tomato sauce you want to leave untouched, that's entirely up to you. So I'm going to just leave some big patches of red untouched, because that looks really good. You don't want to cover up all that delicious tomato sauce. For the next bit of ingredients, I have here red pepper and green pepper. So let's say, shall we put it? This is composition here, folks. Maybe here. A green one, maybe right here. You can cut them, of course. Maybe you just like to have half a sliced pepper like this. Maybe you want to have it here. In that case, you can just take a little bit of the cheese and then use the cheese as some sort of a glue, so that you can glue it on. Oh, nice cheese. There. Now it needs to dry. And luckily for me, I have a piece here that is already dry. And as you can see, the cheese doesn't look as much now as it was. That's because it always dries a bit flatter. That's why you can pour on quite a bit, actually. And I'm gonna add the last little bit of you know, Feinschmecker touch to this one. I have a brush here and I have diluted this yellowy orange. This is very yellowy orange, diluted with a lot of water and no white paint in there, so it's transparent. Now I'm going to sort of brush on a bit of the warm yellow, because you don't want the cheese to be totally flat in one color. You want it to be a bit sort of mixed between that sort of whiter color and the more warm yellow so that it copy the look and feel of real cheese. And real cheese, once it's baked, it can take many different colors. You can also brush this color on here, there, and everywhere, because it will make the whole thing take on a sort of a warm, nice and cozy glow, giving your pizza restaurant a real nice warm feeling. And if it's cold outside, you go in there and you have a nice hot pizza in nice warm environment. Okay, so there we go. And now it's ready to eat. Hi, this is really delicious. Let's ask our house chef Vito what he thinks of it.
Mi grande nonna, it's the best pizza ever!